Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, what's happening? Welcome back to Fantasy Time. I'm with Nick today. Nick, how's it going?
It's going, dude. We're
Yeah.
already in week 7, man.
Week 7. We're in the middle of October. Where the fuck is the time gone? That's my question. It's already week 7. We are about to hit half point through the NFL season. Coming in next week. I already see we have 3 comments, and I guarantee you I know who this is. Oh, it's James. Look at that. Ha, so funny. Thanks, James. We'll start off by saying congratulations, Mr. Jimothy Popolo, and to the newly Mrs. Popolo, Megan Wilson, now Megan Popolo. We'll never forget where we were. Congratulations again on getting married. Show the other one. I want to show all of them. Can I just give you props first before you start just nutting all over me here? God, you know what? Fuck you. I hope your honeymoon sucks, bro. Anyways, no, it's not gonna suck. They're in the all inclusive. They're doing well. They're in Punta Cana. All right, so here's the beginning of this. I'm just gonna keep going, and please enjoy this if you're watching at home. If you're not, fuck you then. I guess watch our shit. Just gonna keep going. Already seen this one. He's just gonna keep saying nut, ass, and yes, free booze. That is the most important part of the all-inclusive is the free booze. I'm sure James is probably fucking so deep in the bottle right now. But again, congratulations to Megan and James. Have a great honeymoon. You will not be getting a shout out in garbage time because I already gave you one now, so don't expect one when we go to garbage time in an hour and 10 minutes. Anyways, week 7, like I mentioned, I seriously cannot believe we are already in the middle of October. I feel like I'm going to blink and it's going to be divisional round playoffs. But we have 6 teams, the most teams in a bye week, tied with week 13. So very interesting. Also, I'm looking at the bye week schedule, okay, on all the teams on byes here. Week 8, there are no teams on byes, and week 12, there are no teams on byes. But for some reason, they have teams on byes week 5 and 6. So why don't we just split the difference and just not give teams byes starting in week 5 and just start at week 7 and call it a day? That is the most asinine thing I've ever seen in my entire life.
Because this is the NFL.
Yeah, fuck the NFL.
This is what happens.
Phil, what's happening, man? What's going on? Good to see you here again. Miss you, buddy. My God. The comments are flying in from James, who is completely off the handle. But we had the Panthers, Bengals, Cowboys, Texans, Jets, and Titans on a bye week this week. So no Jamar, no CeeDee Lamb, no Garrett Wilson, no Derrick Henry, no CJ Stroud. I guess if you have Adam Thielen, no Adam Thielen, but that's about it for that team. So a lot of good players are going to be sitting on your bench this week. So this is a big waiver week. If you already haven't, today was waiver wire day. You already haven't, get out there. There's going to be some good people to pick up. A lot of running backs, specifically just Los Angeles Rams running backs. Again, don't know why. Oh my God, James, shut up. Anyways, so let's get into the nitty gritty here. Let's talk about some of our fantasy forward-centric thinking people here. So let's go into our first segment. We're going to go with Boom or Bust. And as I go on, I'm going to try and ignore James, who just continues to comment in all capitals. But, all right, great. Well, let's start off here with our Boom players for week 7. Obviously, 6 teams on the bye week this week. Stop it! I'm trying to show. Don't be a dick. So we have 6 teams on bye this week. Obviously, a lot of players going to be riding the bench. I wouldn't say not a lot to pick from, but obviously it's a lot less to pick from than normal. So, oh my God, here we go again.
I showed it.
Is it this one? Is it this one? Because I know he knows I know. It's that one. It's definitely that one. Oh my God. Anyways, to lose my shit. let's start off. Let's go to quarterback. Who do you have this week as your boom quarterback?
This week, my boom quarterback is going to be heading out of San Fran. So Brock Purdy's been pretty serviceable all year. He had his real first bad game last week, and this week he's got Minnesota on Monday night, and we all know that Minnesota defense is fucking awful.
Terrible.
It's hot garbage.
Hot
so
dookie.
I think Brock Purdy's gonna be anywhere between the 18 to 25 point range. It'll be tough because Debo's kind of been in and out of the lineup with an injury. And now with CMC being hurt and at least missing this week, it'll be tough, but I think he'll get it done.
All right. I mean, yeah, we did see him struggle last week against, the arguably the best defense in the league in the Cleveland Browns. James, careful.
Still solid.
So, yeah, I mean, he did struggle. His weapons did get hurt, midway through the game a couple of different times. No CMC, no Brandon Ayuk is possibly coming back, will be back. Deebo Samuel might be back. He might still be hurt. So, yeah, I mean, I agree with you. I think they have enough weapons to get it done. Especially Minnesota. Last year they found a way to win close games. This year they're finding ways to lose close games. So it's not going to be that hard for them to figure it out. I'm looking. What time do they play?
8:15 Monday night.
Oh, it's a Monday game. Okay. I'm scrolling through the games. I'm like, where is this games? I can't find it at all.
It should be good.
Anyway,
It should be an entertaining one.
Yeah. It really should be. It should be a pretty high scoring. I would say a high scoring game, honestly. Maybe for one side, but
no, I think the Vikings they put up points. Yeah, Justin
you
Jefferson.
also have to understand is Justin Jefferson's out though.
I understand.
So that's going to be tough, and they have no running game. So maybe it's not going to be a high-scoring game. Thinking back on it, probably shouldn't have said that. Don't like the Vikings' chances whatsoever. But there are a lot of interesting games this week. Headlined a couple of headlines: Detroit, Baltimore, Jacksonville, New Orleans. Not really Cleveland, Indianapolis, but they're both hovering around 3-3, 3-2. Pittsburgh, LA, Miami, Philly, the highlight for this week, definitely for me. But I think the quarterback that has the most to gain from this week and is really looking to kind of make a statement. He hasn't been great all week. He hasn't been great all season. Although he's like the number 3 quarterback in terms of fantasy production, he hasn't had the production he had last season. Jalen Hurts, Miami's defense has been suspect. For the first 6 weeks of this season. I don't know if I remember correctly, if Jalen Ramsey is going to be back this week. Do you remember seeing reports? Is he going to be back?
So I saw a report that he was activated. He's going to start practicing. I think he'll be back. I haven't seen a solid report saying that he's 100% in, but I think the rumor and the talk around the town is that he'll be back.
He'll be back.
Yep,
so that's going to be a huge boost for that Dolphins defense, but it's one that's given up a lot of points over the last couple of weeks to some pretty high-powered offenses. So I think the Eagles are going to be able to do what they need to do to win that game, and Jalen Hurts will score a lot of points. Also, my 1A, 1B for this week, if you have Josh Allen play him, he always roasts the Patriots, and they are 10 times worse than they have been in the last 3 years. So play Josh Allen. You would be absolutely stupid to not play Josh Allen any week, especially this week. So those are my booms. Give me Josh Allen, give me Jalen Hurts. All right, where do you want to go? You pick the direction, Nick. We going wide receiver, running back, tight end. Where are we going?
Let's go wide receiver.
Ooh, okay, good one. I got a good one for this. Wide receiver. So we had a trade. Literally happened. A couple hours ago. Yeah. Mecole Hardman going back to the Chiefs. Good news, obviously, for Patrick Mahomes. Mecole Hardman had a really good end of his Chiefs career. I think he had 5 touchdowns in his last 3 games as a Chief, or if it's the vice versa or whatever. I think it was 5 and 3, but just highlighting that Patrick Mahomes is going to get a weapon that he's reliable, used to back in that aspect. But I want to go on the flip side of this and give me Keenan Allen. Keenan Allen has been arguably quietly balling out this season, and I gotta say, Kansas City's defense is good, but their secondary has not been as good as maybe we've seen it in years prior. Their front seven is definitely where the money is. That's where they're getting the most out of their game. But Keenan Allen is Justin Herbert's safety blanket. He is the guy that he's going to go to in tight situations on third downs. So I fully expect Keenan Allen to be that guy again this week and get at least like 20 targets.
So it's the thing with the Chargers offense is so last week Quentin Johnson had 0 catches. He was targeted twice. The guy is MIA. Herbert's going to either throw to Keenan Allen, Eckler, or Gerald Everett. Everett's not going to be a tight end who's going to get 15, 20 targets, but Keenan Allen will. Like you said, he's the focus of that offense outside of Austin Eckler. So I think he's a safe play.
All right, who's your wide receiver boom?
So I got 3 that I could pick from.
3? Oh, you could pick from. Okay. All right. I was like, whoa, we're going to go with 3? Holy shit. Love that.
There's a ton. Let me see. Who do I want to pick? I'm going to go, I think, with Adam Thielen. It's dirty. It's not sexy, but he is the safety blanket for Bryce Young, and they're going to be playing from behind every game. He's been eating like the last 5 weeks.
He has been eating, but he's going to be eating from home this week because the Panthers are on a bye.
Oh, come on, Nick.
I wanted to let you get away with it, but I couldn't. I'm sorry.
I told you today was a long day.
Teams on a bye. Panthers, right. Cowboys, Bengals, Texans, Jets, and I believe the Titans.
All right, my apologies. Next,
you're good. You are good. That is a good call, though. Adam Thielen has been Bryce Young's go-to person.
Next week,
he's Mr. Reliable. No matter what team he's on, he catches the ball at a highly disturbingly frequent rate. So, you can't go wrong with Adam Thielen, putting him in a flex spot. I feel as though Carolina's schedule coming up is a little on the easier side. Easier in quotations. They are 0-6, obviously, so take that with a grain of salt. But all right, give me someone that's playing this week. Come on.
All right, I'm gonna go AJ Brown. He's had 125 yards the last 4 weeks. After I think it was week 1 or week 2, where he demanded to get the ball. Let me see here. It was so week 2. So week 2 he had 6 targets, 4 receptions, 29 yards. After that, like I said, he's been averaging at least 125 yards a week since then. No less than 9 targets. He's not catching touchdowns, but in a PPR league, he's gonna score. He's gonna get 10 off of at least 100 yards, and he's gonna get minimum 5 points on just catches alone. It'll be tough this week because if Jalen Ramsey is back, he'll have to fight for it. But I think he is definitely my boom wide receiver of this week.
All right, cool, love it. All right, let's go running back. Back to you. We're snaking it.
Oh, we're snaking it. Oh,
yeah.
Let's see. I don't feel good saying this because no one wants to trade for him, and he's older for a running back. But Raheem Mostert has 11 touchdowns, and it's week 7.
Insanity.
Like
insanity that this man has.
He's had 8 touchdowns combined in the last 3 years. This season, by week 7, he has 11. If you can have a piece of this Dolphins offense, you take it and you start it. that's a simple. It doesn't get much more simpler than that. So my boom running back of the week is Raheem Mostert.
I mean, yeah, it seems like he's going to get his touches and his touchdowns. What remains to be seen is how well their running game will be able to do against the Philadelphia front seven, because they have they have 2 brick walls up front.
They do.
3
They do.
if you really want to count Fletcher Cox too, but who older but still a brick wall.
Yep.
But I mean, Jordan Davis.
That guy's a tank.
There's all 3 of them. Him, Fletcher Cox, and the kid that they drafted this year. For some reason, his name is eluding me, but I know exactly. Jalen Carter. All 3 of them are studs on the line. So it's going to be hard running on the inside. Luckily, Miami likes to run some sort of zone outside run scheme, so they might be able to get away with it. My running back for this week. So I guess I'm going to pair. Because I want to emphatically point out how much trouble this one team is going to be in this week on offense. So my boom running back this week is going to be Brian Robinson, actually, against that New York Giants defense. The Commanders are still such a weird team. You're not confident in them winning the game, but somehow they managed to pull it out half of the time. Clearly, they're sitting at 3-3. Brian Robinson has solidified himself as that running back 1, overtaking Antonio Gibson. His production has been really, really good the last couple of weeks. And I think that this is going to be a week for him to kind of just continue to, really solidify that role and make it so that way, that is his spot to lose. So give me Brian Robinson. Also, do not play any Indianapolis Colt running back this week. If you enjoy winning fantasy, do not play a Colts running back. I'm sorry. The Browns defense is like astronomically good for no reason. For reasons, but like they've always been a good defense, but the rate at which they are stopping the run is ridiculous.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, there it is.
How much has he had to drink today?
Oh my God. He literally, the comment free alcohol should just be all you need to know. Jim Schwartz in your booty. Yeah, I mean, hey, shout out to Jim Schwartz for coaching up a really, really good defense. I would even argue elite defense this season, because they beat the 49ers last week, and the 49ers do have a lot of weapons outside of the 2 that got hurt enough to kill. I figured.
Thank you for clarifying.
Which, again, your honeymoon, live it up, boo. We love you. Jim Schwartz, very underrated defensive-minded coach. Great hire for the Browns, and it's really paying dividends. Obviously, having Zadarius Smith there too now can kind of help, versus having Jadeveon Clowney, who's just kind of that run support. They're really getting to the quarterback. They're making they're making other offensive lines really sweat. So yeah, stay away from any Colts running backs. Obviously, now that we know Anthony Richardson out for the season, RIP to our quarterback bet. Nick, that is a disqualification, so therefore you receive punishment no matter what. Yeah. And CJ Stroud is just kicking the fucking pants off of Bryce Young. So I'm in the same boat as you are. At least I have the rest of the season that I could possibly catch up to CJ Stroud, but the dude didn't throw an interception in like 200 consecutive passes, so I don't think that's going to happen. All right, so I have Brian Robinson, and then I'll go tight end here. If I can get to it in a second. I'm just writing down my notes here. Tight end this week. Who's going to boom? Who is going to boom? I can't keep saying Sam Laporta, so I'm going to go to someone different. I like Sam Laporta again this week, although he's going to have a harder matchup against Kyle Hamilton in that secondary in Baltimore. Oh, God, another comment. I don't even look at this one yet.
Killing me tonight. He's killing me.
He's already commented like 30 times. He's sitting by the pool with a pina colada in his hand, just typing nut over and over and over again and just hitting send repeatedly. I feel like at least like 95% of his comments have been blocked by Facebook. Tight end. The tight end to look at this week. There's a lot of tough matchups this week for tight end. I want to say any of the Buffalo tight ends, Knox or Kincaid, but I believe that they're both hurt. So we'll see how that happens. Give me Michael Mayer against the Bears. I think Michael Mayer has been showing that he, it was deserved to be in that, or still deserves to be in that top 5 tight end conversation. Obviously, Sam Laporta coming out of nowhere per se. But look for Michael Mayer to kind of impact the game against the Bears again. He had a pretty decent game last week, and then a really good game the week before that. So he's really been consistent the last 2 weeks. Give me Michael Mayer to re-up on his production.
Okay. Cool. My turn.
You tell me who your tight end boom is. I will see what's going on.
Okay. So.
Oh, he's at the buffet. Sorry.
Okay.
I want you, James, send me a picture of what you are currently eating, and I will introduce it to the show right now. Do it.
Okay.
Anyways, your tight end boom, sir.
So my tight end boom this week, it's gonna be TJ Hawkinson. He hasn't really had, and I know he's facing the Niners defense. I get it, but he hasn't had a boom week since week 2. The targets are there. He's getting the targets. As we all know, with Justin Jefferson out, the ball's got to go somewhere. It's not going to be Jordan Addison because he's a big, chunk touchdown guy. He's not a reception guy. But TJ Hawkinson is going to be the focus on that offense, I think. He's had 1 week with 3 targets. Outside of that, it's been 8 minimum. So he's going to get the ball. And I think this week it'll be his week to show that he's the focal point of that offense while Justin Jefferson is out.
Yeah, I mean, he's had the targets when Jefferson's been out. So and when Jefferson's been in, excuse me.
You haven't pooped in a week, huh?
What?
What's wrong?
I mean, it's believable. He was on a beach for a long time. Yeah, I get that the Bears have been surprisingly good against tight ends. I get that, but I don't know. I like what I've seen from Michael Mayer for the first 6 weeks. Obviously, the last 2 having producing more than he has, but it seems to me that they're going more in his direction, and I feel like Jimmy G. He's always had a guy at tight end. You know what I mean? He's always had that guy. He's had George Kittle. He had Gronk. And now he's trying to find his tight ends, and I don't know who their other tight end is, but I know that he's been in production as well, watching that shitty football game last week. So terrible football was played last week, mostly by the Patriots. But
and with to your point for Mayer, I think Devontae Adams, he's hurt. I'm not sure if he's in or out this week. I haven't seen anything about it, but if he's out, definitely start Mayer if possible, because it's not all going to go to Jacoby Myers, and there's literally nobody else on that offense that's going to catch the ball. So
I love Jacoby Myers, by the way. So pissed that the Patriots didn't sign him anymore. All right, great. Well, those are our boom players for those positions. Let's skip the busts. We don't got time for that. Ain't nobody got time for that. So let's talk about, we haven't done one of these yet. We haven't done a matchup yet. And I do have a matchup that I find interesting. So I want to talk to you about that, Nick. So let's go to a new segment, but one we already cooked up. It's called Matchup Mayhem. All right, fantastic. Welcome to Matchup Mayhem. Basically, where we're going to talk to you about some interesting players to play at the flex position, whether or not you should be playing them, or if you have a combination, if you want to play one over the other, that's what we're going to talk to you about. So this week, sir, I want to talk to you about a couple of different options, more specifically for my team. Okay, so this is a money league. It is a 10-team PPR. It is standard. I just picked up a couple of different pieces because I had to pick up waiver pieces and all that, whatever. So I sat Alexander Madison because I don't like any sort of running game coming out of the Vikings. He did have a decent week 2 weeks ago, but they are playing the Niners on Monday Night Football, and Captain Kirk is terrible in prime time. So we all know that. This is the fact. So I sat him. I did end up I picked up Curtis Samuel and Jaylen Warren off of the waivers. I think that Jaylen Warren is starting to see an uptick in play. And Curtis Samuel has been sneaky good as like the third option for Washington. I'm really surprised. I have Jahan Dotson somewhere. Is it in this league, or I'm in like 10 teams, so I might be wrong. But oh no, I don't have him in this league. But Jahan Dotson hasn't been producing as much as a lot of the fantasy community thought was going to happen. He just hasn't seen that kind of production, but Curtis Samuel has. So I got a couple of options here at the flex play. I am going to be playing, and this is the lineup that I'm going to go with here, and I'll talk to you about it in a second. But Jalen Hurts at the QB, Kenneth Walker, Ramondre Stevenson is questionable. However, my running backs are kind of ass, so I don't have a lot to go for here. So I think Ramondre Stevenson against Buffalo is a better bet than Madison against San Francisco. So, well, give and take there again. I have Jacoby Myers, Chris Olave, and Gabe Davis in. Gabe Davis always pops off against New England, so that's a surefire bet. Chris Olave's had up and down. He caught a touchdown last week, but didn't have one at all. I'm really shocked at the lack of production from him, especially with a pretty decent upgrade in quarterback. So TJ Hawkinson at the tight end position, and then my flexes. So again, riding this dude's dick, Jahmyr Gibbs playing Baltimore at 1:00. I need it to pan out. Like he has the tools. We've seen him run the ball. It's not, whatever reason, Dan Campbell does not want to use the guy. So my last flex spot, I have Josh Palmer in the spot here. But my question to you is, are you playing Josh Palmer? Are you playing Jaylen Warren, Curtis Samuel, Kendrick Bourne, KJ Osborne, Jameson Williams? So I have a lot of options here at the flex, and I'm really between putting Jameson Williams in against Baltimore as that third option in a really good offense. I'm also thinking about putting Curtis Samuel in that spot as well. I'm a little hesitant to put in Kendrick Bourne, for obvious reasons, against Buffalo. I'm a little hesitant to put in Jaylen Warren against the Rams because their front seven has taken a massive step forward from last year. And I think that obviously, being the second running back in that room, having Najee Harris still be there is a little daunting for me. So I'm really between Jameson Williams, Curtis Samuel, and Josh Palmer. So who should I play at flex this week, Nick?
I think I would go with Curtis Samuel because Jahan Dotson has been MIA since, I don't know, week 1, week 2. And Sam Howell and Curtis Samuel just seem to be connecting, especially on a touchdown pass. Let me pull up the stats because I'm not sure. So right now, Curtis Samuel is the wide receiver 25, and he's averaging 12.6 points a game on the season. He's got 31 targets, 27 receptions, 285 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So he had a rough first 3 weeks, but these last 3 weeks, he's had, and this is points, 18, 18, and 14. 2 of those last weeks, he had touchdown catches. I think that's a sure thing at your flex position right there.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, I would tend to agree. I'm leaning that way anyways. I do like Josh Palmer, but against Kansas City, I get a little nervous. I have to cut somebody anyway. So let's see. Who am I dropping, Nick? Who's getting dropped? Who is getting dropped? Who be getting dropped? Let's see. Guess I'm getting rid of this guy, even though I thought he was going to be rookie of the year. That's really awkward. All right. So let's see. I'm gonna put a taxi player there. Put him because he's not done anything. All right. Yeah. So I am putting Curtis Samuel in my flex spot this week. So thank you, sir. This has been Matchup Mayhem. Basically just us trying to set our fantasy lineups, and really what I want to do is get people to send us their fantasy conundrums and do that here. So this is kind of a nice little way of doing that. But great, let's move on. Let's go to waiver weasels here, because obviously with 6 teams on bye, there's going to be lots of people being picked up on the waiver wire. So let's go to waiver weasels. Welcome to Waiver Weasels, where we're going to be telling you some players that you should be looking at on the waiver wire if you need them at that position. So first and foremost, some quarterbacks you should be taking a look at. Russell Wilson, surprisingly, has been playing really well at the quarterback position. So if you're floating out there and you need help at quarterback this week, Russell Wilson is a good play. Against Green Bay, he's played some pretty tough defenses already, so take that with a grain of salt. Obviously, Green Bay's defense is pretty good. But another quarterback to take a look at this week, if he's still out there, Geno Smith. He hasn't been playing up to his potential from last year, but they are playing the Cardinals this week. So I would definitely give him a look if he's out there on the waiver wire. The big ones this week really are at the running back position. Zack Evans is probably target number one for people that, for people that are running back needy. That Kyron Williams has gone down with an injury. Zack Evans might be the guy to step up. Obviously, they've signed 2 other guys. If I can remember correctly, Darnell Henderson they just picked up. Royce Freeman they just picked up as well. Myles Gaskin. So it seems like there's going to be some sort of figuring out. Zack Evans is a guy they just drafted, so they may or may not put more trust in him in his stock, for drafting him. But I would take a look at any of those guys, especially for a team that I believe, if I'm not mistaken, who are they playing? Who are they playing? Trying to figure out who they're playing. They're playing Pittsburgh this week. So tough defense, but we've seen the Rams running backs find a way to kind of produce this season. Most likely, more or less, Kyron Williams. But and then wide receiver this week. You got any running backs we should be picking up on the waiver wire this week, Nick?
So for running back, as we all know, CMC is out. We don't know the extent of his injury. We know it's an oblique injury, but we don't know the time frame. It could be a week, it could be 2, it could be 3. The Niners are going to be cautious. If Elijah Mitchell is already on a team, the next guy up that I would try to shoot for is Jordan Mason. I don't trust Elijah Mitchell 100% because anytime he has played, the guy's injury prone. It's whether it's his knee, his other knee, his finger, who knows? The guy's always hurt. And he's currently injured now. So be aware of that situation. If Elijah Mitchell is out and he's already picked up, shoot for Jordan Mason, and hopefully definitely by Sunday, we'll all know who the starters are. So Jordan Mason for me.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, again, running back is a carousel in the NFL. It's really hard to dictate who's going to do well and who's not, because it really depends on their skill level and the offensive line skill level. So, all right, wide receiver, tight end picks. One guy that has been surprisingly really good this year is a top 10 fantasy tight end is Jonnu Smith. who the Patriots traded and just never wanted to utilize the right way. He's been arguably a little bit better than Kyle Pitts this season. So take a look, maybe take a flyer out on him if you already haven't. He's still out there. Zach Ertz has been really good this season so far. He's been a reliable target. He's sitting at tight end 15, but his snap percentage went down from the previous week. He's had three consistent weeks over 7 points, and then really at the tight end position, you kind of just have to bargain with what you got. So as tight end 15, he's right on the cusp there. So you could give him a chance possibly. But yeah, if Jonnu Smith is out there, the last 3 weeks he's been consistently over 10 points. The first week that he played consistent snaps was Green Bay. He had 8 points, 8.7, and just kept going up from there. So definitely give Jonnu Smith a look. Then at wide receiver, if you haven't already, take a look at Rashid Shaheed. Excuse me. He has been, I would say, Derek Carr's second favorite target behind right now Michael Thomas. He is the not to toot our own horn here, but the boomer bust player on this this Saints offense. I really thought A.T. Perry was going to come in and fill a spot for them. The last 3 weeks, Green Bay, Tampa Bay, and at the Patriots, he didn't produce per se, but he is really boom or bust. He can score you 20 points or he can score you 4. And it's been a lot of up and downs in that there. So, take a look. He's got 2 touchdown receptions this season so far. And he's averaging 3 to 4 catches a week.
Mm-hmm.
So
cool.
Take a look at Rashid Shaheed. Any other players on the waiver wire that you want to take a look at?
So I got 2 wide receivers that I want to talk about. The first one is Josh Downs on the Colts with Anthony Richardson going down for the season. Gardner Minshew seems to be slinging the ball as often as he can. Surprisingly, which is, he's going to throw interceptions, but yeah, the yards are there, the attempts are there, and outside of Michael Pittman, Josh Downs is, in my opinion, the number 2 on this team. In the last 2 games, he's seen 8+ targets, and I think that'll continue. Yes, he'll have bad games, throughout the season, but for now, if you're looking for a flex play and you need it, Josh Downs would be my first go-to. And then the second one, I don't recommend starting anybody on the New York Giants, but last week, Sunday night against the Bills, Wan'Dale Robinson has seen a lot of targets in the last couple of weeks. Again, back to a flex play. You're not going to start him as a wide receiver 1 or 2. Paris Campbell had 0 routes in week 6. 0. And from what I see, obviously as a fan watching the Giants play, Wan'Dale is skilled. He's quick. He's shifty. Is he going to get you a big deep play? No, but if you're lucky, like I said, this is a flex play. He'll get you four catches, 50 yards, maybe a score, maybe because the Giants don't like to score. But yeah, all in terms of flex play, I would go Josh Downs and Wan'Dale Robinson.
All right, then, fantastic. So let's move on over to our betting portion of the week for the NFL, and let's kick it on over to Locked and Loaded. I gotta fix the audio on that. I forgot about that. It's really choppy. But anyways, welcome to Locked and Loaded. I'm going to tell you about some of our locks for this week in the betting realm. We're going to start off here for our Thursday night game. Give me the Jags +1 against the Saints. Sitting at 4-2. It's not been pretty how they've got there. They are 4-2 though. Like I mentioned before, between them and the Bengals, neither of them have been really good. first quarter of the season teams. It's really October, end of October, November, where we see these teams kind of thrive. So give me the Jaguars up +1 here. The over-under for this game is also 40. I fully expect this game to go over as well. So give me +1 Jags, and I'll take the over on that. So another lock for me this week, and I guess maybe this might be opposite bias or whatever. The Bills at -9, that seems like a gimme. Every game that the Bills have played against the Patriots that hasn't been affected by 50-mile-an-hour gusts has had the Bills win by at least like 14. So pick the Bills -9 this week. I also fully expect this game to go over 2 with the Bills scoring like 95 points. So that's more of a joke. But the fact that the Bills Patriots game sitting at 41, the Jags and the Saints are sitting at 40. I mean, come on, seriously. Pick the Bills this week, -9. I would take the over 41 points. I mean, the Bills scored 45 points on the Dolphins.
Mm-hmm.
The Dolphins. So don't be stupid. Take the over. Expect the Bills to score a lot of points and absolutely embarrass the Patriots at Gillette Stadium. They're gonna embarrass them. It's gonna be terrible. I'll save this one for later. Never mind. I'm going to save it for later. Let's see what else I got here. What else I got for you? A lot of close picks. It's going to be tough to kind of say. I like the under for the Niners Vikings. No Justin Jefferson. A lot of Brock's weapons are down.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to lock that. I'm going to go under on Vikings and Niners. And that's at 44 points. Yeah, I mean, I think that game itself is going to see a lot of back and forth, not defensively really, but only on one side of the ball. There goes my fiance. Thanks, Tom. Yep, it is really on loser crime, except one team is actually decent. The other one just sucks absolute nards. We'll talk about this. I will be talking about this at some point in the next like 20 minutes, but the Patriots are absolute hot trash. All right, those are my locks for this week. Some games that you want to stay. I'm trying to get away from it because I'll go into a complete tangent rant. Let's go to Better Beware. I just realized you can see the word dicks right on the crown, too. I never saw that before until I looked at it today.
That picture is going to stay with me the rest of my life.
Listen, that's not bad. I have really bad ones that I haven't put up yet, but like I got some real bad ones. Games to stay away from. This is a really tough game to call, but Eagles-Dolphins. Dolphins sitting at a 2.5 point underdog, going on the road, over-under sitting at 52. We know that the Dolphins can score a lot of points. We also know that the Eagles can score a lot of points if they want to. Mm-hmm. What really is the outlier here is going to be that Miami defense. You know, if they get Jalen Ramsey back, how much is that going to hinder Jalen Hurts and the Jalen Hurts and A.J. Brown show? You know, is it going to force Jalen Hurts to kind of look the other way, and will that open things up for them? You know, when thinking about this, there's just too many variables for me to confidently say either way on over under or for this pick. I could see either team winning. They're both sitting at 5-1. So I would stay away from this game. I would also stay away from. And let me get back up to it because I thought about this in my head for a minute. I would stay away from the Lions-Ravens game. 4-2 Ravens, 5-1 Lions. Lions are coming in as a 3-point underdog. The Ravens have seriously underperformed a lot of people's expectations although they're sitting at 4-2. Offensively, I would say their defense has been pretty good. They lost some suspect games this season.
Mm-hmm.
So over-under is sitting at 42.5. And mind you, the Bills-Patriots game is 41. And we know that both of these teams have offenses that can score at will when they are locked and loaded. Shout out to us again for just continuously saying our segment names in the middle.
Pun intended.
No, it really is unintended. I'm just saying it. But so I don't necessarily know if I like 42.5 is a really good point for me to feel uncomfortable picking either way. I like the Lions in this game. I think that as a 3-point underdog, it's good. I personally, I wouldn't touch it. I don't feel comfortable with them sitting as a 3-point dog. So I would stay away from this game too. It's again completely up to you guys. I'm only here to tell you what I think. So the last one that we have for you, my upsetty spaghetti, everyone's favorite, and obviously we have to play it for you. So here you go. Every Italian person is probably rolling over in their grave right now. My upsetties this week. So I have the Jags beating the Saints. Obviously, is a 1-point underdog. It's not much of an upset, but that's definitely an upset game for me. Again, I know I just said don't bet on it. However, I do feel as though the Lions are going to beat the Ravens this week as a 3-point underdog at what PNC? What is it? I forget what the name of their stadium is.
Yeah.
I forget the name of their stadium. Give me the Falcons to beat the Bucks, 2.5-point underdog there. And then it's really tough. There aren't really any good underdog teams that I think are really going to have a good chance this week. Like the only other team I would consider maybe the Vikings over the Niners if they had Justin Jefferson. They don't. I wouldn't take that game. They are at home. They're a 7-point dog at home. Only other team that I could see possibly doing it here is Miami. Going on the road to Philadelphia as a 2.5-point underdog. I don't see them being able to pull it out in Miami. So, but yeah, give me the Falcons to beat the Bucks as an underdog. Give me the Lions to beat the Ravens as an underdog, and then obviously a slight dog in Jacksonville going on the road to play the Saints. So those are my 3 underdogs for this week. Underdogs, upset, whatever you want to call it. Really, the segment is upsets, so they're technically all upsets, but they got that dog in them. So
this week's schedule is full of poop on poop. There's not really a lot of good games.
I mean, well, that's the thing. Like you have teams like the Chargers that are 2-3. They're playing the Chiefs. I feel like they always play good games, but the Chargers defense is absolute shit. Like the Vikings are hurt, but should have. I mean, we predicted them to go 14-3 this season, and they're already 1-5, 2-4 or whatever. Where the fuck they are. So it's been a lot of miscalculation on my part of her expectations, and I just didn't expect any of it to go like this. The Jets are somehow better than their record shows. I don't know how they beat the Eagles last week. They're what 3-3.
3-3.
Their defense is winning them games. So you have to think about what could have been if Aaron Rodgers was still their quarterback. Scary to think. They could apparently he's got some magic mushroom that's fixing his leg at a hypersonic speed. So I don't really know what's going on with that. It's some random bullshit. He probably was like, yeah, I brought in some fucking witch doctor from the deep Amazon jungle, and he voodoo magic my leg. I'm being so serious. Like I feel like he would do something like that, and he would just be like, yeah,
I would have put it past him.
So it's gonna be an interesting week of football. Obviously now us being back and merry. But we got New York. I guess the Jets technically playing a home game.
Are they in London?
I always found that weird. What?
Are they in London?
The Jets?
Oh.
No, the Jets are playing the Giants at MetLife.
Not this week.
Yeah, they are.
No, Giants got the Commanders this week.
Am I on the wrong week?
I think so.
I don't think I'm on the wrong week. No,
Yeah,
because
dude.
the Patriots play the Bills this week.
Unless I'm looking at ESPN right now.
Oh wait, what the fuck? Oh yeah, no, I was on the wrong week. I'm sorry. Who do the
That's
Jets play this week?
next week.
That's next week.
Yep.
Oh, next week they play. Oh, I'm so sorry. I was on. I scrolled all the way down to look at the Niners Vikings odds, and I scrolled past to week 8. Yeah, sorry, the Commanders Giants. So you have 2 back-to-back home games, but next week's against the Jets, so we'll see how that works. Yeah, I mean we have some interesting games this week. I think for us as dedicated football fans, it's weird to see some names in certain places, like the Patriots being 1-5, the Lions being 5-1.
Honestly, I'm not shocked that the Lions are 5-1. I'm not shocked.
I'm not shocked either. I'm not shocked that they are a good football team. I'm just it's just like a I don't know, like it's like oh my god, the Lions are 5-1. Like seeing that number in front of you, it's like different. It's like, hey, Lions are 2-1, 3-1 to start the season. They're sitting at 5-1 after 6 weeks. Odds are they're gonna win the division. They're gonna make the playoffs as a higher seed.
No one's overtaking them. Nobody.
No, I mean the only team that would have been able to keep up with them is the Vikings, and their offense has been has been great, but their defense has been so bad it has outplayed in negative terms against their offense. So I don't know. I mean the only team in the way of the Lions winning the division are the Lions.
Yeah.
Plain and simple. They're the only team standing in the way of them winning the division. So a lot of divisional matchups this week, it seems. Patriots, Bills, Giants, Commanders, Bucks, Falcons, Cardinals, Seahawks, Chargers, Chiefs. So a lot of decent divisional games. With some out of division interconference, some pretty good games there. Miami, Philly, San Francisco, Minnesota, Pittsburgh, LA should be a pretty decent defensive battle. And then I think, obviously Detroit and Baltimore, those are going to be some good games. So there should be some good football this week, obviously starting off tomorrow, Jacksonville at New Orleans. So, guys, thank you so much for tuning in, James. I really hope you're enjoying your honeymoon. Please say hi to the missus for me. I can actually say that now. This has been Fantasy Time. Thank you guys so much for tuning in. You know where to find us. We are on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, under Boda Sports. We are a child of Boda. We are on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts. We are on YouTube. We're on TikTok. We're all over the place. So if you see one of our beautiful faces, stop, say hi, or you can scroll past us because I don't fucking like me either, honestly. So, but stay tuned for next week, where we are going to be halfway through the season already.
That's insane.
Week 8 is next week, and we have all the teams playing next week, which is going to be great. So lots of fantasy to cover. So stay tuned for that. And if you are still watching us, Garbage Time starts up in about 10 minutes. So if you want to follow us over there, do it up. We will have a lot of standard football takes and bullshit nonsense coming up for you. Stay soggy.
All right. Go Big Blue, I guess.
I guess. Yeah, I know. Again, we are physically on the same boat, but you fully expected to be here, and I did not. So. I mean, I guess you expected to not be 1-5, but you didn't expect to be the opposite either.
It is fucking bad. For another show. So that's for another time.
It's soggy.
All right.